Alright, so this is going to be a Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition, Soul Level 1 one-shot boss run. The reason it's on Prepare to Die edition instead of on the remastered edition is because while they each have access to their own set of glitches, I think that the Prepare to Die edition's glitches will allow me to defeat a wider range of bosses. Or at least that's what I'm hoping. But we'll see as this run progresses. As you can see, we're going to start off as the Pyromancer, because the Pyromancer is the only character that starts at level 1. Black Firebombs as the gift, and the rest of it is just whatever you want, really. So you might think that right off the bat, this run can't be progressed because the Asylum Demon is in front of us. But fortunately, there is a way to get past the Asylum Demon without, without technically defeating it. So what we're going to do is take our Black Firebombs that we took as our starting gift. We're going to go into the boss room. We're just going to proceed to use the Black Firebombs to defeat the boss. I realize this doesn't really look like a one-shot, but I promise you it all comes together eventually. Alright, and there we go. And we're going to quit out before the boss has finished dying. And what that's going to do is it's going to trigger the game's memory to say that the boss has already been defeated. There's a flag that tells the game whether or not the boss has been killed. That's now been checked. So the game thinks the boss is dead, while as you can see it's very much still alive. Now what that's going to do is the drops that we would normally get from the boss, the Big Pilgrim's Key, and the 1 humanity, although we're never going to see that 1 humanity or the 2,000 souls until we come back and defeat it, if that's even an option. But the most important one of those, the Big Pilgrim's Key, is going to be given to us by Oscar. The reason Oscar gives you the Big Pilgrim's Key if you defeat the Asylum Demon before progressing up through and talking to him is that they didn't want you to leave the Asylum without your Estus Flask, so the boss doesn't drop the Big Pilgrim's Key if you kill him the first time you encounter him, which allows us to get it from Oscar here.
Oh.
So now we can take the Big Pilgrim's Key and continue on our way straight the hell out of the Asylum. There's no reason to kill these hollows up here instead of just running past them, but I decide to kill them on the off chance that I get some kind of a drop or something. Also, this wasn't routed beforehand. I've never seen someone do this before, and I also don't... I didn't like sit and plan out the route before I attempted it. So the whole time I'm like thinking about where I'm going next and what I need to do in order to progress. But not much to think about right now because all we need to do is leave the Asylum. And that's pretty straightforward. So we're just going to open this door. As you can see, the Asylum Demon is very much still alive. So the challenge is very much still on. That was 40 seconds of me debating whether or not it was worth dropping my Pyromancy Flame to Snuggly It definitely wouldn't have been, by the way, don't do that. And here it's a good thing I didn't get the souls from killing Asylum Demon, because I very much attempted to level up right there. More inputs went towards that than you were privy to. But regardless, we're going to start this run the same way that pretty much every other run starts, which is going to be running around the Firelink Shrine and collecting whatever items we have access to. Might be worth noting at this point, even though it's kind of obvious now, that this is post-commentary. This is me talking after I've recorded and edited this entire video. I don't know if you would prefer to see post-commentary or live commentary. I used to watch a lot of Northern Lion, personally, and his older videos were very, like his much older videos anyway, were much more post-commentary. And then he transitioned into live commentary, and then after that, now it's like stream VODs and clips, which I'm not a huge fan of. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys prefer live commentary or post commentary, but just please don't ever say that you prefer stream VODs or stream clips, because I really don't like that form of content. Regardless, we're going to continue to grab our items from Firelink Shrine here. Also, I guess it's worth noting that this video is unscripted. I know what happens, obviously, because I did this run. Like, I know I pick up those Lloyd's talismans, and I know that I don't grab the binoculars, like, 3 or 4 times in a row. Eventually, I do come back here and grab the binoculars. Note to anyone who might decide that they want to attempt this for whatever reason, grab the binoculars here. You'll have many more Estus flasks to spare if you just grab those binoculars. Yeah, I've already seen this several times. I was the one who played it, and also I've watched this video many times over now. So I obviously already know what's going to happen. I feel like there was some reason I was saying that. Oh yeah, live commentary might be nice, but it would also be it would be much harder to edit, I think. And in addition to that, I wouldn't be able to provide you with such deep insights, such as the thing about the binoculars or other such nonsense. But regardless, we're not going to be able to go to the right here and go up to the Valley of the Drakes because we don't have the Master Key, which means we need to progress through New Londo Ruins the quote-unquote normal way. There aren't too many items that we need in New Londo Ruins. There are a couple. The Key to the Seal is obviously one of them, because we need to drain New Londo before we can progress to Valley of the Drakes. This Firekeeper Soul is going to be our first detour for an item off to the right here, and this will probably be the only Firekeeper Soul that I grab for the entirety of the playthrough, because I don't really see a reason to upgrade the Estus Flask, and I don't really want to trigger any world events, although we're getting pretty close by the end of this video to triggering Lautrec's world event anyway. Get knifed by a ghost, hurts pretty bad. I get pretty comfortably 3-shot by the ghosts with 0 humanity. So it's nice to have a little bit of soft humanity in my bar, because that gives me just a little bit of defense. You'll come to see that it's unfortunately not enough, but yeah. You see there, that gives me just the world's tiniest the world's tiniest buffer. I might actually be 2-shot if it weren't for the 5 humanity, but it looked like it would be a 3-shot before. It's tough to say, really. Once you get through here, you make it to this second staircase over here, and then you're pretty much safe. You don't actually really need to quit out here, but I quit out anyway just because I don't want any of the ghosts to be in weird spots. They really like to do shenanigans and get themselves into nonsense positions that have the potential to kind of screw you over later. I get a little big for my britches here and just go straight for this run, which gets me knifed before I get onto the ladder, and now I'm pretty sure there's just no way to survive this. Fortunately, we've got video editing, so would you look at that, we're already back. This time I'm going to do a little bit more preparation to give myself the best possible chance of getting up the ladder on this attempt. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my Firekeeper Soul as many times as it takes to get up to 99 humanity, which if you're a fan of multiplication, that's going to be 20. Or alternatively, if you're a fan of division, but not a huge difference between those two groups of people. They hate each other, but from the outside we can tell that they're all the same. Anyway, I put on my extra pieces of armor here just to absolutely maximize the amount of physical defense I have access to, and I get my foot caught on the stairs there, and then I also get my crotch caught on that ghost, which nearly gets me in a weird position there. Because with such low stamina, getting onto the ladder, a single hit would have been enough to knock me off. But fortunately, all my defense boosts were completely in vain because I didn't get hit a single time. Ingrid is easy enough to take out. Would be nice to not have to kill him, but unfortunately he won't forfeit the key until you have the Lord Vessel. So murder is the only option there. Sort of, my hands are tied. It's less of like a murder and more of like a necessary sacrifice. But you know, I'm not here to mince words. I'm just here to one-shot bosses. Make it over to here. Fail to use this lever because that contraption does not move, and then successfully use this lever, draining New Londo and allowing me to progress further. So a lot of the beginning of this run is just unlocking areas to get access to items and such. Like I said, I hadn't routed this very much at all, so it's all pretty by the seat of my pants. I do grab the Screen Titanite shard here. And then I would have actually survived just jumping off this this staircase, but I've only ever walked off that staircase once, other than that time right there, as far as I know. And obviously that time wasn't quite so willingly. Anyway, I make it back to the New Londo ruins, and now I'm able to progress in a way that's much more comfortable for me. I've run this way probably like hundreds of times at least. I don't know exactly how many hundreds of times, but several, suffice to say. So I'm much more comfortable with the enemies over here and just navigating in general. I can put a decent amount of distance between myself and this Dark Knight, Dark Wraith. Make sure I just never get stabbed. I mean, I could play this a lot closer, but you can't quite see it because it's all been edited out, but every time you run back from the Firelink Shrine bonfire, you die a little inside, which is the same reason I didn't stop and grab the red tearstone ring there on my first run, and instead ran past this to make sure that I got to this bonfire first. Because man, oh man, do I not want to do that run again. You know, that run was only edited out like 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. 4 tops, like absolute tops. But we'll get to a part later on in this video where you won't even know what you don't know. I'll let you in on it because I got the inside information. You know, I know all the little clips that have been edited out of this video. I'm your one-stop shop for director's commentary about what's going on here. But good grief, like I'm talking like 40 minutes edited out, an hour edited out elsewhere. I'll mention them as they come up, but suffice to say, you're welcome. Okay, editing this video took probably about as long as it did to actually play through it. And you know, I guess this is why in school they teach you when you're like writing an essay or something that you start with the outline. Because if I had just sat down and like formulated a path, a route, then this would have gone a lot faster. Well, maybe not that much faster, because there were a couple glitches that I wanted to abuse that I couldn't really abuse. Like for instance, right here, I wanted to use the Firekeeper Soul glitch to use a Homeward Bone, but unfortunately, I don't know. I guess I lagged or something. And then I just ended up back at the bonfire. So, long story short, it didn't change much, but you know, just a couple of optimizations here and there like that would have saved me a little bit of time. Regardless, we're going to pick up the Grass Crest Shield and take out this Black Knight. Just get him right off the edge right there. Yep, that looks good. Okay, and then there's my Bloodstain down there. I'm guessing that's in Valley of the Drakes. I'm not sure if that exactly works out geographically, but maybe it looks about right. Yeah, I guess it is. So there you go. That's where Valley of the Drakes is. It definitely looks really weird from this angle, though. Okay, and then this is what I was talking about. That's a huge cut, right? Okay, so let me let you in on what happened right there. Basically, first things first, I ran up to the Undead Parish, and I killed the Crystal Lizard. But unfortunately, I didn't pop any humanity before I killed the Crystal Lizard, so I didn't get any. I didn't get any colored Titanite chunks. Tragic, I know. But then what I did was I set up this glitch that you're seeing right here to try to get into Sen's Fortress. I tried a couple of different methods to get into Sen's Fortress. This is the only one that actually works, so this is what I did. I mean, there might be another way to do it, I don't know, but this one definitely works. And I got the death camera on like my second try, and then I died to the Hollow Knight chasing me into the room and stabbing me to death. And then I got frustrated, and for like the next 40 minutes I just could not get it. So anyway, skipping through the Sen's Fortress run because it's just very typical. It's the same as every other Sen's Fortress run you've ever seen. Even though I don't have the stats to use the Lightning Spear, I still use it because the lightning damage isn't reduced by not having the stat requirement. So it's still pretty far my most damaging weapon. Also, this is another part where you're not seeing the full story. This fight is not nearly as easy as I made it look right there. And that's why this enemy gets a little point down, because you can't rest at a bonfire in Sen's Fortress. Otherwise you won't be able to leave Sen's Fortress, right? So every time I wanted to go back in there, I had to do that glitch again, and that enemy killed me many times. Several times. Many times. Anyway, now we're making our way down to Blighttown, and we're going to take out Maneater Mildred, and then go up and get Power Within. One thing you're not seeing here is that, well, a couple of things you're not seeing here. One, I did try to get to Anor Londo without killing the Iron Golem. I don't think it's possible on Prepare to Die Edition, but I didn't try very many times. I don't really intend to continue to try because I'm not sure. I don't know if it's possible, and it's just so much setup that I don't think it's worth it. But another thing you're not seeing is after I defeated Maneater Mildred, also that's not your Discord, that's mine. After I defeated Maneater Mildred and got this Pyromancy here, this Power Within, it looks like I just left, which would have been the right move, but unfortunately instead of doing that, I actually ran all the way back up there, up to the doorway of the depths, thinking maybe I could open it from the wrong side, but no, you cannot open it from the wrong side. Anyway, I get my my green Titanite chunks and I buy my Titanite shards, so now it's time to go off to the catacombs. Making it down to the catacombs, we're gonna run past this Titanite demon, and I'm gonna get my hands on these Eyes of Death. These are a surprise tool that will help us later. And we're just gonna quickly jump in this coffin and get taken away to the place. That's obviously not how quickly that actually goes. Normally it takes a lot longer than that, but the power of editing, you know. This is the first encounter with one of the problem areas for this run. It's both very helpful and very frustrating that we're probably going to have to come back here, because Quelaag is a very difficult boss to defeat with the current restrictions. Also, check this out. And I lived. Crazy, right? Anyway, Quelaag is a really difficult boss to defeat with our current set of restrictions. But one thing that'll make it a little bit easier is probably getting Gravelord Greatsword Dance with a 30% damage bonus from the Covenant. Unfortunately, that's going to involve 80 Eyes of Death, which have a 6% drop chance from the Basilisks in either the Depths or the Great Hollow, so that's going to be a lot of farming. Also, there's another potential 30% damage bonus from the Dragon Form Torso Stone that we may or may not need. Although, you know, given the health pool of not only Quelaag but also later bosses, I dare say I'm going to have to do that eventually, and that's going to be 80 dragon scales. I would really like to just edit those items in, because otherwise it's just monotonous farming, but it does feel a little bit disingenuous and a little bit less, I don't know, just a little bit less genuine. This is my first attempt at Taurus Demon one-shot. Unfortunately, the Red Tearstone Ring alone is not quite enough damage, so I quit load, I heal up, and I pop Power Within, because that's gonna give me that little bit of extra damage that I need to be over the threshold to one-shot this boss. I almost ran into range of the boss before being in hyper mode, which is not run ending, but it is a little bit worrisome, because I would have to avoid a lot more attacks. You can also get Taurus Demon to just kind of jump off the cliff, but I wanted to actually, you know, one-shot the boss, not just kind of have the boss die. But depending on how things go, I might need to have a certain other boss just kind of waltz his way to his death, but we'll see about that. So that's Taurus Demon down, and now we're going to make our way over to Capra Demon. The Capra Demon is a pretty important boss for this, because we get the key to the depths, and the depths contains the Large Ember as well as Laurentius and the Basilisks. So a lot of our damage potential is actually in the depths. So this is actually not my first Capra attempt, but not because I died to Capra. I actually think, well, maybe I did die to Capra once, but I was really hoping that if you killed the dogs and reloaded, that the dogs would remain dead. But unfortunately, if you kill the dogs and reload, the dogs respawn. So I had to do this all in one attempt here. I could have just tried to power within at that HP, but not only can Capra Demon hit me from up there, but also it's a little bit dangerous because if you miss the move swap with such low HP, then you're just gonna die to power within. Nice belch from me there. And we're going to collect the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring from Griggs, as well as go back here and pick up the Talisman so that we can actually use Gravelord Sword Dance if we should need to. As you can see from my Power Within not being full, this is not my first attempt, but after quitting out in double hyper mode, I realized that the gargoyles have far less health than the other bosses, so the Power Within is probably unnecessary. And I was right. They're also weak to fire, making this probably the easiest boss to one-shot. The Hydra is not a boss, is my official opinion on this. It doesn't have its health bar at the bottom of the screen, it doesn't have a fog gate prior to it, it doesn't have its own boss arena, there are multiple iterations of it, it's not a boss. So I can hit it as many times as I want. Gonna upgrade the Pyro Flame a little bit here, and I realize now that we're getting pretty close to the end of the video. So I guess now is as good a time as any to mention, you know, put your thoughts in the comment section. I really want to know what you think about this series. Also watch this. Bam, 0 damage. So back to the drawing board as far as
far
Quelaag
less
goes.
damage than I was expecting.
Yep, me too, buddy. Me too. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. Don't forget to comment. Let me know what you think. And blah, 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 blah. See you in the next episode, hopefully.